first time Jim Hightower has been to La Crosse, or to this area. When's the last time La Crosse County, this area, voted red? Republican, anybody remember?
1984.
That's correct. Reagan Revolution. Since that time, since 1986, most of western Wisconsin has voted blue. The New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Boston Globe have often pointed after presidential elections to this cell of blue in rural Midwest United States. How does that happen when so much of rural America votes Republican? I'd like to tell you what I think how that happened. In the early 1980s, I was organizing on farm issues in northeast Minnesota and North Dakota. My grandfather, Valentine Wolf, was the first vice president of the state bank in North Dakota. He was an NPL legislator for more than 16 years and led to the impeachment of a Republican governor who was not an NPL member, named Governor Moses. He died. He was brutally murdered while he was in office. Prairie politics, farm politics, has had a long, wonderful history. It spread over into Minnesota. Minnesota later became the Democratic Farm Labor Party. It spread into Wisconsin, through Fighting Bob the Follett and others. But there's always been this incredible streak of populism in these states. In 1985, after that lousy 1984 election, the League of Rural Voters, who I worked for, and on whose board of directors served Jim Hightower, decided to put its resources and money into the state of Wisconsin. Tom Quinn was the head of Farmers Union, myself, George Seaman, Organic Valley, and other people began to organize and get out to vote in western Wisconsin. Not going to typical large towns like La Crosse or Eau Claire, but to actually rural areas. Did thousands of GOTV ads with Jim Hightower in the background, a lot of the ads. We did a tremendous amount of work. Jim came repeatedly. I still remember the day on the Jesse Jackson tour for president, and we had over 2,000 people in Amory, Wisconsin. Jim nodding his head up. With the Rainbow Coalition, hundreds of people from the Rainbow Coalition coming up to Amory, Wisconsin to the farm. Prairie populism has always been here, and it's had a tremendous impact on us. And I thank Jim, because I never would have moved to Wisconsin. I'd never been able to work here without the support of the League of Rural Voters and the work that he did. Ever since then, we've learned a lot from Jim. Jim was the Secretary of Agriculture of the state of Texas, and he organized farmers, and he organized black farmers, Hispanic farmers, all farmers. He sent black farmers from the South to Wisconsin to tell us how to organize. And black farmers knew all about it. It was like trying to get loans and have their farms taken away by the banks. Jim Hightower helped us learn about how to organize co-ops. You see this hat? Tom Quinn, George Seaman, and I, and two other people, wrote bylaws for Organic Valley in my living room.
Yeah!
We knew that we had to take a stand against low farm prices. And what was the price of milk in 1984? Anybody know? $10. What's the price of milk today? 13. Rural America is dying. Farmers can't make a living based on that. We knew back then that one of the only things we could do was to listen to the advice of Jim Hightower and organized farmers. That's what happened. Organic Valley, as you all know, has more than 700 people that work in Vernon County, has hundreds of additional farmers. All of our neighbors are Organic Valley farmers. We have sustainable farms in our backyards. We have a co-op downtown that's been propelled, believe me, by a lot of what Organic Valley has done for this area. We've done a lot. I'm going to ask all of you a couple of questions about prairie populism, because since that time we've stayed blue for the most part. How many people here worked to increase the minimum wage in the city of La Crosse? Anybody remember that campaign? There's a few people here. They told us it couldn't be done. When minimum wage was $5.25, we were told it would never be possible. We were the second city outside of Madison to raise the minimum wage in the state of Wisconsin. How many people here remember the vote to ban gay marriage in the state of Wisconsin? Anybody here work on that campaign? All right. One of the only counties outside of Dane County to vote against that, to actually vote against the ban on gay marriage was La Crosse County. Yeah, that's grassroots populism working again. How many people here realize that we passed a referendum in the city of La Crosse against the Iraq War? Overwhelming against the Iraq War here in a rural city in rural America. And I want to thank all the people that helped for that. But I think we owe a lot of that to some of our mentors. And one of my mentors has been Jim Hightower all along. Yeah. Well, I want to say something to Jim personally because it means a great deal to me. I worked at the university for the last 20 years, and I did a lot of environmental organizing there, and I taught environmental organizing. We used to take a busload of students every year to Fighting Bob Fest to hear Jim Hightower, to hear Bernie Sanders, to get them excited. Last Saturday, I stood at the wedding of Pablo Ruiz, one of those students, who later became the head of Obama's New York State campaign, who then is a campaign manager for Jeff Merkley's campaign in the U.S. Senate. I talked to Ryan Schreiber, one of those students, who is now helping the defeats and has done a great job at feeding the largest proposed coal mine in United States history in Alaska. I talked to Betty Gruel, who's helped designate 2 wilderness areas in Washington State and Oregon. I talked to Kara Pano, who is like 8 for Senator Hill. I talked to one of the newest farmers for organic ballot, a young woman who now organizes young people to get into organic farming. I could go on and on, but 30 of those young people are still working full-time as professionals in change-making professions. And I owe that to people like Jim Hightower. Stay tuned because we work at issues. We work at real things that impact real people and make real changes for all of us. I think all of us are really tired. I am especially tired of all the stupidity of presidential and other politics. Never talking about issues. I think all of you should know that one of the reasons I started CARS, Citizens Acting Against Rail Safety, to fight the oil bomb claims, is because the Keystone Pipeline and all the oil coming from Canada was allowed under the Canadian American Trade Act. The TPP is only going to follow up on it. When Hightower came here around 1985, Alice Chalmers closed their doors. Thousands of people in the cross lost their jobs. Highlands was bought out a hostage takeover by the owners of Foss Lager from Australia, by junk bond. We fought back, and we have a strong brewery today back in the city of La Crosse. And we owe it to all people like you, people who believe in La Crosse, people who believe in progressive politics, people who you can believe in were impacted and were changed by Jim Hightower.